Hi, I'm Emily. I'm just an ordinary woman living in a small town, but my life took extraordinary turns when I fell in love with Jack. A soldier with a heart full of courage and a smile that could brighten even the darkest days. This story is about love, heartbreak, hope, and resilience. It's about us, and I hope it touches your heart as much as it changed my life. How we met. It all started at the annual summer fair in our little town. I was working at my family's food stall, selling homemade pies, while Jack was home on leave, enjoying the festivities with his buddies. I noticed him immediately. He stood out with his confident stride and the way he laughed so easily, but I never expected him to approach me. Hi, do you have any more of those apple pies? He asked, leaning casually against the counter. You're lucky, I said, smiling. We've got one left. Well, that's fate, isn't it? He replied with a wink. I laughed, handing him the pie, and somehow that turned into a conversation that lasted the rest of the evening. We talked about everything: his adventures in the army, my dream of opening a bakery, and even which toppings belong on a pizza. We both agreed pineapple was unacceptable. By the time the fair ended, I felt like I'd known him forever. Before leaving, he asked for my number, and I gave it to him without hesitation. Something about Jack felt different, safe, yet exciting. A love story begins. Our relationship blossomed quickly. Jack had a way of making even ordinary moments feel magical. We'd go on long walks, have lazy picnics by the lake, and spend hours talking about our dreams. But there was always the looming reality of his military life. Jack's job meant that he couldn't always be around, and his next deployment was never far away. After about a year of dating, Jack proposed during one of our evening picnics by the lake. The setting sun reflected off the water, and as we sat under our favorite willow tree, he pulled out a small box. Emily, he began, his voice steady but full of emotion. I faced a lot of challenges in my life, but nothing scares me more than the thought of losing you. Will you marry me? Tears streamed down my face as I said yes. That night I felt like the luckiest woman in the world. Life as a military wife. We got married in a small ceremony a few months later. Our wedding was simple but perfect, surrounded by close family and friends. For a while, life felt like a dream, but being married to a soldier comes with its challenges. Shortly after our honeymoon, Jack received orders for a deployment overseas. The night before he left, We sat together in our living room, holding hands. Promise me you'll stay strong, he said softly. I promise, I whispered, though my heart was breaking. When Jack left, the house felt so empty. I missed him terribly. But I threw myself into work and started writing letters to him every day. Each letter was filled with updates about my life, stories about our town, and endless words of love and encouragement. His letters back were my lifeline. He wrote about his life and the base the friends he made and how much he missed me. A surprise homecoming. One evening, about 6 months into his deployment, I was in the kitchen baking when I heard a knock at the door. Confused, I wiped my hands on a towel and opened it, and there he was. Surprise, Jack said, grinning. I froze for a moment, unable to believe my eyes before throwing my arms around him. How? When? Why didn't you tell me? I stammered, overwhelmed with joy. I wanted to surprise you, he said, laughing. I have 2 weeks of leave, and I couldn't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. Those 2 weeks were like a dream. We spent every moment together, from cozy nights at home to spontaneous road trips. It felt like no time had passed at all. But all too soon, his leave ended, and he had to go back. Saying goodbye again was even harder than the first time. But we both knew it was part of the life we had chosen together. The storms ahead. As Jack's deployment stretched on, life became more challenging. There were nights when I carried myself to sleep, wondering if he was safe, wondering if he'd ever come home. One day, I received a call from him that shook me to my core. There was an attack near our base, he said. I'm okay, but things are tense here. I tried to stay strong from him, but the fear of losing him was always there, like a shadow I couldn't escape. The day everything changed. One afternoon, as I was cleaning the house, I heard a knock at the door. When I opened it, 2 soldiers in uniform stood there. My heart stopped. Mrs. Emily Carter, one of them asked. Yes, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. We regret to inform you that your husband, Sergeant Jack Carter, has been injured in the line of duty. He is in critical condition but stable, and he's being flown back to the States for treatment. The world around me blurred. I barely remembered how I got to the hospital, but when I saw Jack lying there, pale and fragile, my heart broke. Emily, he whispered, his voice weak. I told you I'd come back to you. Jack's recovery was long and difficult. There were days when he felt defeated, days when the pain was unbearable, but he never gave up, and neither did I. I became his cheerleader, his caretaker, and his biggest source of support. Together, we celebrated every small victory, every step he took, every milestone he reached. A new beginning. A year later, Jack was medically discharged from the military. It was a bittersweet moment, but we were ready to start a new chapter. We opened a small cafe in our town, fulfilling my dream of having a bakery and giving Jack a fresh purpose. We named it the Soldier's Table, a tribute to his journey. Our cafe became more than just a business. It was a place where people shared their stories, found comfort, and connected. Jack often inspired others with his resilience and courage. Now, years later, as I sit here in our cafe, watching Jack laugh with our customers, I realize how far we've come. Life tested us in ways we never imagined, but our love only grew stronger. Jack always says, "The scars I carry are reminders of what I fought for, our love, our life, our future." And I couldn't agree more. What about you? Have you ever faced challenges that tested your love or strength? I'd love to hear your stories in the comment below. If you liked this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in next video.